Hello, welcome to this edition of MTV Jr. This is our great kids show, which you're going to absolutely love. My name is Uri Pilichowski, and I want to introduce myself to you. So the first thing I'm going to introduce is my family, the most important thing to me. What is more important than your family? So this is my beautiful family. Do you see how beautiful they are? I have a beautiful wife. She's actually the mayor of our town. Her name is Elisa. And I have six wonderful children, five girls and one boy. You can see the boy standing in the middle, and all around him are his mother and his sisters. It's not easy growing up as one boy in a house with five girls, one mom, and one Abba, one dad, but he does it. My girls are so impressive. I love every single one of them. Each of them is special in their own way, and I'm so happy that they're part of my family. Okay, and I want to show you where I live because I don't live next to you. Here's where I live. Do you see the red balloon on the map? That's a map of Israel because I live, like it says above here, I live in Mitzpe Yericho in Israel. And if you look, this is my beautiful town. We have very few houses and lots and lots of empty mountains. One day, all these mountains are going to be filled with houses. Maybe you'll live in one of them one day. That's the beautiful, beautiful place I live. It's called Mitzpe Yericho in Israel. Isn't that incredible? What's on today's show? What are we going to get to do on today's show? So first, I know all of you want raffle tickets. If you get a raffle ticket, then you can win prizes if your raffle ticket is shown. So we're going to have a chance to play a lot of games, ask a lot of questions, and you're going to get a chance to win lots and lots of raffle tickets. You're going to need a pen and you're going to need paper to write down the answers to the questions and the email address of where to send them. It's my email address. I'm going to get your email and I'm going to send you raffle tickets. And if your ticket gets chosen, you're going to get a prize. That's incredible. Okay, we are also going to have a story. Do you know what our story is going to be about today? It's going to be about two kids who went to the supermarket. I'm going to tell the story in the supermarket. It's going to be so cool. We're going to go on a trip to the supermarket, but this time it's going to be fun. We're not going to really buy anything. Don't tell anyone. Okay, then we're going to have our Hebrew word of the day, and you're going to get to win a raffle ticket if you can send me the Hebrew word of the day. So again, get ready. We're going to learn an interesting word today, and then we're going to do something most people never get to do. We're going to go on a special trip and see how they make salt in Israel. No one has seen this. This is going to be a first time thing, so get ready. Okay, then we're going to play another game, and then we're going to have our last question where you can win lots of tickets. So are you ready? This next part is going to be a lot of fun. First, we're going to do is we're going to have a story about being in the supermarket. Okay, so now, in order for me to tell you the story, I've got to leave this room. So first I have to go to my green room. Oh, I'm there. Whew. Okay, I used to have to go down steps, but I redid everything, and now I can just automatically appear in my green room. Here I am. Okay, now we're going to go tell the story. In order to do that, I have to go somewhere else. Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody. Okay, you might notice I am at the supermarket, and I have a great story to tell you that has an amazing lesson that happened here at the supermarket. Okay, there were two friends. One friend was named Moshe, and one name was Avram. Okay, they would grow up to be great, great rabbis. But Moshe and Avram came to a store just like this to go shopping. And they both had their carts, and they were going down the aisles looking for all the food that they wanted, and the different snacks, and the different candy, and the different soda, and all the different fun things at the supermarket. And they're loading up their cart. And they all said, we're only going to buy 30 things for each of us. Each of us is going to buy 30 things for their house, and that's it. Once we get to 30 things, that's it. So they have their 30 things. They go up to the counter to buy all their
all their items, all 30 of their items, and they count it out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 30. They pay for the items, they leave. Okay, great. And the same things. They each bought a can of tuna fish, and they each bought a loaf of bread, and they each bought a thing of ketchup, and a thing of mustard, and some deli, and some fish. And they all had the exact same 30 things. Great. They decide they're going to go back to Moshe's house and sit down for some lunch. Okay, so they go back to Moshe's house. Each of them takes out their food that they want to eat for lunch that they bought at the supermarket, and they take it out, they put it on the table. They decide they're going to have sandwiches, tuna fish sandwiches. So they each take out their can of tuna, open their can of tuna, and then put it on their bread. Okay, and both Moshe and Avram, they had some funny tastes. They both like mustard on their tuna fish sandwich. So they take out 2 slices of bread, put it down, put tuna fish on the bread, each of them. Tuna fish on their bread, on their bread, on their bread, on their bread. Lots of tuna fish. They loved it, really piled high. Then they take out some lettuce, chop up the lettuce, and they wash the lettuce to make sure there's no bugs on the lettuce, because bugs are not kosher. So before you have lettuce, you have to make sure you wash your lettuce. And they wash their lettuce to make sure there's no bugs on their lettuce. And then they pile it up on top of their tuna fish. And they've got a piece of bread, a big pile of tuna, lots of lettuce, and they said tomato. Okay, so they go into their bags in the supermarket, take out each of them 1 tomato, chop up the tomato, slice it up, slices on top. Okay, great. And they both like, you ready for this? Mustard on their tuna fish sandwiches. So they take out the other piece of bread that's going to go on the top of the sandwich and put on mustard. Take out a knife, spread the mustard on so it's nice, and put it on top of the sandwich. Great. They go, they say, okay, now we have to wash Anot Yesodayim. So they go to the sink, they wash an Anot Yesodayim, they make the bracha, they dry their hands, they sit down, they make a hamotzi with a lot of kavana and eat their sandwich. And they're loving their mustard, tuna, lettuce, tomato sandwich. Delicious. Okay? They make sure to say a Dvar Torah at the table, because you always have to say a Dvar Torah at the table. And what Dvar Torah do they say? Moshe turns to Avram and says, Avram, why don't you say a Dvar Torah? So Avram says, I would love to say a Dvar Torah. So they sit down and say a Dvar Torah, and Avram says, let me tell you Dvar Torah. Dvar Torah says like this: before we get to eat anything, we always have to make a bracha, because everything in this world belongs to Hashem, and the only way we're allowed to use it and enjoy it is if we make a bracha. Moshe says, what a beautiful Dvar Torah. That Dvar Torah was more delicious than my tuna fish mustard sandwich. Wow, Avram says. Okay, glad you like the Dvar Torah. Great. They sit down, and Avram looks down into his bag and sees something strange. A chocolate bar. There's a chocolate bar in the bag. So he says, oh, that's strange. I didn't buy a chocolate bar. And they realize that a chocolate bar had somehow accidentally fallen into Avram's bag, and he didn't pay for it. It was a stolen chocolate bar. Now, Avram wasn't a Russia. He wasn't a bad person. He didn't think that he was going to steal it. He didn't know. It was an accident that he has it. So he says to Moshe, what should I do? He says, I don't know. So they didn't know what to do, and eat the chocolate bar, and he'll go to the supermarket later and pay for it. But right now, the chocolate bar is still stolen. So Moshe says, how could you eat the chocolate bar? It's stolen. Avram says, no, it's not really stolen. I'm going to take it. Then they say, should we make a bracha on it? So he says, what do you mean? He says, should we make a bracha on it if it's stolen? So Moshe says, you don't, man, are you kidding? You can't make a bracha on something stolen. That's a chutzpah. That's disrespectful to Hashem, because Hashem said, don't steal. And now you stole it. Now you're going to make a bracha? And Avram says, but Hashem said that before I eat anything, I also have to make a bracha. So I'm about to eat, so how can I not listen? And that was their argument. In the end, they decide, you know what? In order to make sure that we don't have a problem, we'll go to the supermarket before we eat the chocolate bar, and we'll ask them for permission. We'll pay for it, and then we'll ask them for permission. So they say Birkat HaMazon, they bench on their sandwich. They get back in their car. They drive back to the supermarket. They go up to the supermarket and say, we need to speak to the person in charge of the whole supermarket. So they say, okay, hold on. That is Sarah. Sarah is the manager of the whole supermarket. Let's go get her. So they go get Sarah, and Sarah says, how can I help you? Did we do something wrong? I said, no, you didn't do something wrong. We did something wrong. We accidentally took this candy bar. And she says, you guys are so honest. You can keep the candy bar for free. No problem. And she says, not only that, but I want to tell everybody about you. So if there's only one candy bar, I want Moshe to also have a candy bar, and she gives Moshe a candy bar as a gift, and Moshe and Avram have their own candy bar, and what a wonderful story. And that's why we have to be very, very careful to always make brachot. Shalom.
Okay, that was a great, great story. Let's make sure that we go back to the right room here so that we can win lots of prizes and see what prize we've got next. Oh, whoops, I left the room. That was not smart. Okay, here we go. Let's go back. And what are we up to? I think I know what we're up to. I am pretty sure we are now up to the Hebrew word of the day. Let's see what it is. Amila b'ivrit, hu para. The Hebrew word of the day is a cow. Para is cow. Para, there you see para. Hey, reish, hey. That's our Hebrew word of the day, and it means a cow, like a para, like this guy right here who's giving us a funny look. Doesn't know why we're looking at him. Well, we are looking at you, para, Mr. Para. Okay, anyway, that's our Hebrew word of the day. So all you have to do is send me to this email address. All you gotta do is send me your Hebrew word of the day. Send me para, tell me it means a cow, put it in this email, send it off to me, and you win. Now, if you don't know how to send an email or you don't have it right now, write down para and then copy the email address and put it down. And later on, you could do it with one of your parents. Okay, now we are going to do something amazing. This is so cool. Buckle your seatbelts because this is going to be the highlight of your day watching this next segment that we have. This is pretty cool. I loved doing this.
Hi, everybody.
This, okay, you ready? This is going to be incredible. We're going to go on a small little trip here. You're going to love this. Here we go. So first I have to leave this room. Whoa, look, there we go. Very easy to do now. Our new way of leaving the room. Okay. And here we go. Get ready.
Hi, everybody. Today, I wanted to take you somewhere where no one gets to go. We are in the middle of the desert in Israel. We are up against the Dead Sea, okay, Yam HaMelach, where no fish can live because it's so salty. And I wanted to teach you something about salt and about how salt gets to your table and where salt is made from. And I'm going to show you things that you never imagined that you probably had. Now, most vegetables that we have, we grow the vegetables in the ground, right? We plant a seed, we do some work in the ground, make sure that the ground is perfectly like flat, and the rain comes, and then after the rain comes, the vegetables come out from the ground. And then we go and maybe we'll take care of the vegetables. We'll cut out some of the weeds that are growing up around the vegetables. We'll make sure that bugs don't come near the vegetables. And then when it comes time to harvest the vegetables, what we will do is we'll go out to the field and we'll cut the vegetables off the tree or off the bush, or if the vegetables are growing out of the ground. And that's how we get vegetables. How do we get meat or chicken? Very simple, from our friendly cows and our friendly chickens. We take the meat from them, and that's how we get meat, and that's how we get chicken. Okay, how do we get fish? Very simple. We go out on boats, we take out a net or a fishing rod, and we fish and we catch the fish, and then we cook the fish, or we don't cook the fish and we make sushi, and that's how we have fish. Okay, great. How do we have like pretzels? Well, pretzels, we grow wheat in the ground. We take the wheat out, like we just talked about the vegetables. We mash all the wheat up until it becomes flour, and then we bake the flour into the shape of pretzels. Maybe we add a little salt, some flavors, some spices, right? Same thing with bread. Exact same process with bread. Everybody makes challah. We know how we make challah, and that's how we get bread on our table. But here's my question. How do you get salt? Where does salt come from? Okay, and that's what we're going to answer in just a minute. Okay. Now we're going to discuss how we get salt. Do you guys see the trucks and the workers behind me? I'm sorry that I'm squinting, but the sun is in my eye right here. But I wanted to stand here so you can see. Do you see those bags there? What do you think those bags are full of? If I told you, you'd never believe me, but you might guess because of what this video is all about. And you can see the truck is moving. There he goes. He's going on his way, waving there a little. Okay, and you see he's got what looks like dirt. Those bags behind and what this truck is going to move, those bags are salt. They're full of salt, and this is an area where the salt comes from. I want to show you something that we're about to see. Okay, so salt comes from this area of Israel right here. A ton of salt comes from this area. But it's not, we don't grow salt. So where does salt come from? So if you look over, it's hard to see because today it's a little cloudy, but over there is the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is called the Dead Sea because nothing lives in the Dead Sea. But the real name of it in Hebrew is Yam HaMelach, the Salt Sea, because it's full of salt. And what we do is we want to take the salt out of the sea. So how do they do it? They take pipes and they put the pipes into the Dead Sea, and then they take all the water, not all the water, there's still a ton of water left in the Dead Sea, but they take all the water out and they leave it in these big pools. And then they let the sun, you can see how sunny it is because it's the middle of February and we're in short sleeves. They let the sun come down, beat down, and it dries out the water. And what's left is salt. Then they take the salt out of the pool and they put it into a big pile. And it makes mountains of salt. I'm going to show you a salt mountain. You're not going to believe me. You're going to think it's sand. You're going to think it's dirt. But it's not. It's actually mountains made of salt. That's what we're going to look at next. Okay. Do you guys see this mountain in front of us? This looks like a mountain of really clean sand, but it's not. This is a mountain made of salt. This is all the salt that comes out of those pools. They pile it up here onto this mountain. Look how big this mountain is. It's a mountain fully full of salt from the Dead Sea. The crystals are really big. I'm going to show you. If you look down here, now you can see that there's even cars that drive on the salt. But don't worry, before it gets to your table, it's cleaned. But look at this. Look how the crystals, if you can see here, okay, you can see how the crystals of salt, okay, look at those crystals. It looks almost like sugar, okay, but it's not. This is very, very salty, okay. This is the Dead Sea salt that you see in the supermarket. You can see, look at it, okay. You see how the crystals are really large, okay. That's like kosher salt, what they call it. Not because regular salt isn't kosher, but kosher salt is really thick, and that's what this is. This is really thick Dead Sea salt. Pretty cool, right? Okay, next we're going to discuss how you get it into your table. Where does it go? How does it get from here to your table? Okay, bye. Okay, here is the truck. You can see, and what he is doing is he is grabbing from the salt mountain that we saw. He's going to take a ton of salt. Look at what he's doing. This looks like he's taking sand or dirt, but really what he's doing is he's taking sand. There he is. Look at that. He's taking sand. Look out. He's got this huge thing. That's all, not sand, sorry. That's all salt. Do you see? That's all salt. This whole thing, this whole truck is full of salt. Look where he's going with it. This is pretty incredible. He's going to take it over to that factory. They're going to go through it and clean it and make sure it's clean because it was just sitting outside. And then they're going to put it in these bags that we see all over. And then after they put it in the bags, they load it up on these trucks and they take it to different factories and they put it into salt shakers, and then you get it in your house. Look at this. Look what he's doing. This is pretty incredible. Watch this. He's going to put it, this is the machine that cleans the salt. He's going to dump, look at that, all the salt in there. And then what's going to happen is it's going to clean all that salt until, again, it goes on the bags. The bags go onto the truck. The truck goes to a factory. They put the salt into a salt shaker, and then it goes to your table. Okay, pretty incredible. Okay, what did we learn today? Today we learned a ton about making salt, of how salt is made. We learned that it doesn't grow in the ground. We learned that we don't have to catch it like a fish. We don't have to get it from an animal like milk, right? It comes in out of the water. It's dried out, put onto a big mountain, take it from the mountain, cleaned, then put into bags, then put on a truck, then goes into a factory, gets put together into a salt shaker, and then it goes to your table. Pretty cool how we get salt from Eretz Yisrael. Hope you enjoyed this video.
Okay, that was pretty cool. I have to say. I have to say so myself because, well, I'm all here by myself and I'm the one that made it. So I still think it's pretty cool though. Okay, let us go back and now we are going to play a game. And with our game, we're going to be able to win a prize. Okay, so that was our Hebrew word of the day. That was our last thing. And here we go. You ready? We're going to play a game. I'm going to say 5 things about what we've seen today. And then I am going to say them 5 times slow, 5 times fast, and then 5 times slow again. Get ready to write them down. There's a memory game. Write them down, and then you can send them to me at this email address, and you win raffle tickets. Here we go. You ready? Okay. First word, salt. Second word, challah. Third word, hamotzi. Fourth word, kiddush. Fifth word, wine. Okay, let's say that again. I might have said that a little too fast. Let me say it again slowly. Here we go. Salt, challah, hamotzi, kiddush, and wine. Okay, one more time. Here we go. Salt, challah, hamotzi, kiddush, and wine. Okay, now for the last part of today, and then we have to go. Here we go. Can you tell me what this week's Parsha is? If you do, you can win 3 raffle tickets. You just have to send them to this email address, and you get 3 raffle tickets. What's this week's Parsha? So a lot of chances to win today. Lots and lots of chances. And don't forget, you can also win more prizes and read and play games in the weekly newsletter. You don't want to miss it. There's a word search. There's a trivia question. There's stuff on Eretz Yisrael. There's jokes. There's everything you'd ever want in a Shabbat newsletter. All you have to do is make sure to get it and shul on Shabbat. Okay, it also comes in your email. Okay, shalom, everybody.